2010, the government made a decision that killed the best semi-truck engines ever built. Not a safety recall, not a bankruptcy, a regulation. And the truckers who drove those engines have been paying for it ever since. Now, before anyone in the comments says it, yes, the regulation reduced pollution. That part is real. The air is measurably cleaner because of it. Nobody here is arguing otherwise. But here's what also happened. Caterpillar, one of the greatest diesel engine manufacturers in American history, walked away from the truck engine market entirely. The CAT C15 that drivers loved and mechanics trusted, dead on arrival for new highway trucks. Detroit Diesel's legendary Series 60, the engine that powered more American freight than almost anything else on the road, forced into a completely different machine to survive. And every new truck rolling off the line after 2010 came with a system that turns a 400 horsepower diesel into a golf cart if one sensor goes wrong. This is the full story of what happened, and by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why so many drivers are still hunting down pre-2007 iron like it's classic muscle cars. Let's start with what we actually lost, because you need to understand what these engines were before you can feel what it meant to lose them. Three engines defined the golden era of American semi-trucks: the Caterpillar C15, the Detroit Diesel Series 60, and the Cummins ISX. These weren't just good engines. They were weapons, mechanical masterpieces built around one priority: put as many miles as possible between you and a breakdown. The CAT C15 was the one drivers talked about like it was alive. Inline six-cylinder, 14.6 liters, available up to 625 horsepower. And if you maintained it right, that engine would run past 1 million miles without flinching. The 6NZ model specifically is still one of the most sought-after rebuilds in the diesel world right now. Mechanics who've worked on everything say the same thing: nothing built after 2010 touches it for sheer durability. The Detroit Series 60 was the workhorse, 12.7 liter, later stretched to 14 liter. It powered everything. Drivers who put 2 to 3 million miles on these engines weren't bragging. They were just reporting facts. And the Cummins ISX, the one that actually survived into the modern era, was the benchmark for raw torque. Drivers trusted it. Fleets ran entire operations on it. It was as close to bulletproof as a diesel engine could get. Here's what all three had in common. They were mechanical, relatively simple. You could diagnose most problems with a good mechanic and basic tools. Parts were available everywhere. Rebuilds were routine. The engines were designed to be fixed, not replaced. That world ended in 2010. Here's what the EPA actually mandated and why it forced the industry into a completely different direction. The 2007 to 2010 heavy-duty engine standards were the most aggressive emissions rules ever applied to American trucks. Particulate matter limits dropped by 90%. Nitrogen oxides limits, the stuff that creates smog, dropped to 0.20 grams per brake horsepower hour. By 2010, every single new heavy-duty diesel engine on American roads had to meet that number. No exceptions, no phase-ins, 100% compliance. To hit those numbers, manufacturers had two weapons: the DPF, diesel particulate filter, a ceramic honeycomb filter bolted into the exhaust that traps soot before it exits the stack. It fills up over time and has to go through a regeneration cycle, essentially burning the soot off at extremely high temperatures to clean itself. And the SCR system paired with DEF, selective catalytic reduction using diesel exhaust fluid, a urea-based solution that gets injected into the exhaust stream and converts nitrogen oxides into harmless nitrogen before it exits the pipe. On paper, a clean solution. In practice, a completely new category of problems that the old engines never had. When one of these new sensors detects a fault, the truck's computer triggers a derate, effectively putting the engine into limp mode. Suddenly, your 80,000-pound rig is restricted to just 5 miles per hour, leaving you stranded on a dangerous shoulder, all because of a single faulty sensor. Here's where the real cost shows up, and these numbers are verified. A single DPF replacement on a Class 8 truck runs between $2,000 and $8,000 in parts alone. SCR system repairs can top $10,000. Add labor, towing, and the revenue you're losing while the truck sits. A single emission system failure can cost $15,000 to $20,000 or more. The American Trucking Association estimates that after-treatment and emissions-related repairs now account for roughly 13% of total maintenance costs for Class 8 trucks. 13%, on a cost category that didn't exist at all before 2007. Now here's the part that should make you genuinely angry if you care about this industry. The manufacturers knew, not just that the new systems were more complex, they knew the reliability picture wasn't going to match what the pre-2010 engines had delivered. They had the engineering data. They had the failure projections. They complied anyway. And the reason is simple. They had no choice. Non-compliance with EPA standards means your engines can't be sold in the United States. Full stop. For a truck manufacturer, that's not a risk to weigh. That's a death sentence. You comply or you don't exist. But Caterpillar looked at the cost of developing emissions-compliant on-highway engines, the engineering investment, the certification process, the warranty liability on systems that were genuinely new and unproven at scale, and made a different calculation. They walked. In 2010, Caterpillar exited the on-highway truck engine market entirely. The C15 was done for new highway trucks. The company that had built one of the most respected diesel engines in American history looked at what compliance was going to cost them and decided the off-highway market, construction, mining, marine, industrial, was a better business. And they weren't wrong. They're still one of the largest engine manufacturers in the world, just not in your Kenworth anymore. Detroit Diesel stayed, Cummins stayed. But to stay, they had to build something that shared a name with the old engines, but was fundamentally a different machine. More sensors, more systems, more things that could go wrong at the worst possible time. The pre-2010 reliability that made these brands legendary, it didn't transfer fully into the new era. Not because the engineers weren't good, because the regulatory requirements added complexity that directly competed with simplicity. And in diesel engines, simplicity is durability. Now, what I'm about to tell you is the part of this story that the industry doesn't advertise. The old engines didn't disappear. They went underground. And right now, in 2026, they are more valuable than ever. Pre-2007 trucks with clean CAT C15S and Detroit Series 60S are selling at premiums that make no economic sense on paper until you understand what the buyer is getting. An engine with a known reliability ceiling, no DEF system to freeze in winter, no DPF to clog and strand you, no limp mode countdown on the dashboard, just an engine that runs. The 6NZ CAT C15, that late 1990s to early 2000s model, is specifically hunted. Mechanics describe it as one of the most rebuildable engines ever put in a truck. Parts are available. The engineering is understood completely. A good rebuild at the right shop, and that engine will go another million miles. Detroit Series 60s from the same era. Same story. The 12.7 and 14-liter versions in clean trucks are legitimately hard to find at reasonable prices because the people who have them know what they have. Owner-operators running regional routes where they control maintenance are making the calculation that a well-maintained pre-emissions truck is a better business decision than a new truck with a $20,000 emissions repair waiting somewhere in the future. Here's the full picture. The 2010 regulations achieved their goal. Nitrogen oxides emissions from heavy-duty trucks dropped dramatically. Particulate matter in American air measurably improved. Those are real outcomes that affected real people's health. That matters. But the cost of those outcomes was paid almost entirely by the people operating the trucks. Not by the manufacturers who built the compliant engines and moved on, not by the regulators who set the standards and walked away. By the owner-operators and small fleets who bought the new equipment, dealt with the limp mode on an interstate in January, paid the $15,000 repair bill, and figured out how to keep moving. The best engines ever built for American highway trucks, the CAT C15, the Detroit Series 60 in its prime, the pre-emissions Cummins ISX. They existed in a window of American diesel engineering that opened around 1993 and closed in 2010. 17 years. And the people who ran those engines through their best miles will tell you the same thing every single time you ask. Nothing built since has matched them. The government didn't mean to destroy the best truck engines ever made, but that's exactly what happened. The engines we just talked about weren't just legends. They were the last time American trucks were actually built to last. Because the trucks that came after them, the ones built to meet these regulations, 80% of them are straight-up garbage. Higher repair costs, more downtime, less reliability. We broke down exactly why in a full video, and if you drive or own one of these modern rigs, you need to watch it.